What's up YouTube? This is M West, and today I have a very special comparison video for you. I'll be comparing the MacBook Air on the left and then the Chrome notebook known as the CR-48 notebook. I recently purchased the MacBook Air about a month ago. I'd want to say about 15 days ago I received my Chrome notebook, so I really just want to compare them so you guys can kind of see the differences between the two notebooks. I do have a spec shell, that's why my Mac Air is kind of dark. You can see it's a very thin notebook. Everybody shows that same thing in their video. But compared to the CR-48 or the Chrome notebook, it's a relatively thin notebook as well. Matte finish, all black. It's a really nice notebook. It's a little bit heavier than the MacBook Air, I will say, but still on the really light side. It's a really nice notebook. It still has a really thin profile. I do like the matte finish. It's very similar to the spec case that I just recently purchased. I like that suede-ish velvet feeling both of them have. And the spec case offers my MacBook Air some protection, and the Chrome notebook already seems to have its protection on there. The one thing that I do like about the Chrome notebook is that if you're laying in bed with it, if you're just using it, you're not worried about taking it around, dropping it, or kind of messing it up. It seems like it's really sturdy. Not that the MacBook Air isn't, but the MacBook Air seems like it's elegant, it's expensive, it's a nice notebook that you don't want to drop or mess up. And with the Chrome, you don't have to worry about things like that. It seems like you can just use and abuse it, and it'll be just fine. The next thing I want to show you guys is the keyboards and the trackpad. The keyboards on them almost seem identical. They're both chiclet style, they're slightly raised, really large trackpad. The MacBook Air has a slightly bigger trackpad than the Chrome notebook, but the Chrome notebook's trackpad is really responsive. Not as responsive as the MacBook Air, but again, this is a beta computer or beta laptop, and so I don't think everything is supposed to be perfect on it, but for what it is, it's really good. I really like the layout. It's very similar to the MacBook Air's keyboard, so it's a really familiar experience when you're using either one or when I go back and forth. They both have eyesight cameras. The camera on the MacBook Air, it does seem to work a little bit better, or it has a better, sharper image. And again, this is a beta testing laptop, so I don't think the camera should be that good, but just to note that it's not as good at taking images or shots of you. It doesn't seem that nice. Both of the screens are relatively thin, in my opinion. The one on the Chrome is a little bit smaller than the MacBook Air. I'm not going to go over all the specs and everything about either one of the computers. All that stuff can be found online, but what I really want to do is just talk about the user experience, how fast it boots up, and different things that I like about it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn both of them on now. Okay, so they both booted up around the same amount of time, or it seems like the Apple was a little bit faster than the Chrome, but sounds like a lot of buts. I'm making a lot of excuses for it, but again, it's still it's a relatively new laptop that's being tested out, so I expect it to not be as fast, even though the Chrome notebook and the MacBook Air both have solid-state hard drives. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is the instant on feature on both of them. So let's try that one out. See if I can open them at the same time. Wow, so the Chrome notebook actually launched a little bit faster from what I can tell. It woke up right away from that sleep. So in that respect, because it's a different OS, the OS might be a little bit smaller, a little easier for it to resume after you wake it back up. But they're both still really quick. Let's see. So for the next thing that I kind of want to do, I want to pull up YouTube on both of these machines to see how fast they connect. Now both of them are on the wireless end network set up at my home, and so both of them should connect almost at the same speed. So let me go ahead and get that set up for you guys. Okay, so it looks like the MacBook Air is done loading up YouTube, and then the Chrome finished slightly after. I mean, so they seem relatively quick. They both seem to finish around the same time, but the MacBook Air is a little bit faster. Other things that I noticed with the Chrome notebook is sometimes it crashes a little bit when you're downloading different apps. You can browse most of the internet, but there's some things that you'll have a hard time with, some type of flash videos where you won't be able to see them. And I guess that's with every notebook, because of course the MacBook Air has that same type of trouble sometimes. I can't really load up too many programs or anything else on the Chrome notebook because it's very limited, and it won't be a fair comparison, or I won't be able to compare it because I don't have the same apps on each machine. But from what I can tell you now, I'm really enjoying both machines, going back and forth and using both of them. I really like how they both work. I think they both have their own place, but each one of them is extremely different. Other than that, thanks YouTube, and again, just to remind you guys, this is a new channel, this is something different for me, so if you guys have any questions about where I got the Chrome notebook from, if you guys have any questions about the MacBook Air, or anything that you guys want to ask me, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. This is a channel in progress, so I can only get better with time, and I look forward to doing more videos. Other than that, thanks YouTube, peace.